The formation of the devil in the human mind. Historical perspectives. Introduction. The devil, as we know it in Western imagination, did not emerge suddenly nor from a single tradition. It is the outcome of a prolonged historical, cultural, and psychological process, blending elements from various civilizations. In the chapter, The Formation of the Devil in the Human Mind, Historical Aspects, Daniel Mastrel traces this evolution, illustrating how diverse cultural elements merged to form the Christian image of the adversary. Mastrel emphasizes that this is a historical study, not a theological one. He explores how humanity, through narratives, symbols, and projections, personified evil. To do this, he examines religious syncretism, psychological projection, and the influence of mythology, spanning ancient civilizations to contemporary times. 1. Structuring factors in the construction of evil. 1.1. Religious syncretism. The devil's image arose from the fusion of cultures. Conquering and conquered peoples blended and reshaped their gods and spirits. This syncretism created overlapping beliefs that gradually formed universal archetypes of good and evil forces. Mastrel cites Brazil's religious blend of Catholicism with African and indigenous traditions as a modern example of this ancient process. 1.2. Psychological projection. Humans project their fears, vices, and hatred onto external entities. This projection allows for a more tangible confrontation with evil, giving it a face and purpose. Thus, the devil became a repository for human negativity, explaining misfortunes and temptations as external, rather than self-inflicted phenomena. 1.3. Mythology as a foundation. Mythologies provided the raw material for the devil's construction. Oral stories, religious symbols, and nature cults offered a rich imagistic repertoire. In Greece and Rome, for instance, demigods and vengeful spirits embodied human passions and vices. Egyptian hybrid deities and funerary practices similarly expressed fears of death and chaos. 2. Ancient civilizations and their depictions of evil. 2.1. Mesopotamia. In Mesopotamia, evil was attributed to wrathful gods and malevolent spirits. Illnesses and disasters were seen as their work. The concept of a demon, an invisible being that afflicts humans, originated here. Marduk, a central Babylonian deity, embodied both creation and destruction, reflecting the dual nature of good and evil. 2.2. Egypt. In ancient Egypt, Seth represented chaos and violence, serving as a rival to Osiris and Horus. The struggle between Horus and Seth symbolized the eternal battle between order and chaos. The diverse Egyptian pantheon, including Ra and Ammon, eventually merged into complex deities like Ammon-Ra. This plurality contributed to the personification of evil figures and the development of rituals to ward off evil spirits. 2.3. Persia. Zoroastrianism introduced a clear cosmic dualism. Ahura Mazda symbolized light and truth, while Angra Mainyu Ahriman embodied darkness and destruction. This opposition significantly influenced post-exilic Judaism, cementing the concept of an absolute spiritual adversary. 2.4. Greece. Greek mythology dispersed evil among various entities: Hades, Eris, and the Furies. Literature and cults, such as those of Dionysus, further explored themes of disorder and divine wrath. 2.5. Rome. Roman mythology adopted much from Greece, but also featured unique figures like the Lemures and Manes. Christianity later reinterpreted these as demonic equivalents. 3. Judaism and Christianity, the centralization of the adversary. In the Old Testament, Satan was initially a prosecutor, not an autonomous evil force. However, Persian dualistic influences amplified his role. The New Testament fully transformed Satan into the father of lies, directly confronting Jesus and causing demonic possessions. Christianity thus solidified the devil's role as the ultimate adversary. 4. The Middle Ages, the devil's imagery. During the Middle Ages, demonic figures became prominent in church art, shaping popular fear through grotesque images. This visual representation served a pedagogical purpose, teaching the populace to fear sin. The Inquisition further entrenched this fear, using the devil as a justification for its actions. 5. Modernity and Romanticism. Despite the French Revolution's separation of church and state, fear of the devil persisted. Romanticism reimagined Satan as a symbol of freedom and rebellion against oppressive structures. This marked a shift from viewing the devil as an absolute villain to an icon of inner struggle and emancipation. 6. Contemporary times. Today, the devil's image is less grotesque and more refined. He represents subtle temptations like power, money, lust, and vanity. The Vatican's exorcism rituals and contemporary literature reflect this nuanced understanding of evil. Conclusion. The devil's formation in the human mind is a historical culmination from various influences. From Mesopotamia came the initial demon concepts. From Egypt, associations with chaos. From Persia, cosmic dualism. And from Greece and Rome, disturbing spirits. Judaism and Christianity consolidated these into the figure of Satan. The Middle Ages solidified his imagery, while modernity and contemporary times have reinterpreted him. More than a religious figure, the devil reflects humanity's fears and conflicts. Studying his historical formation helps us understand how humans confront the experience of evil.